Going guys, so today Hannah and I are going to be showing you guys how to make beef pho, which is a Vietnamese dish. This is my friend Philip Duong, and he's going to be instructing us on how to do so.
Alright, so I'm going to introduce some of the ingredients in beef pho, which is basically Vietnamese beef noodle soup. We have the beef right here, cut up steak, meatballs, ginger, some chili peppers, red onion, green onion, basil, cilantro, mint. This is bean sprouts, stick of cinnamon, and then this powder stuff here is kind of a mix of star anise, salt, pepper, that type of thing. More salt and pepper, some fish sauce, hoisin sauce, which is used for dipping, canola oil, which we're actually using for the noodles so they don't stick. And these are the noodles. This is pho, which is the noodles known as rice steaks. Alright, we're going to start making the broth right now. So these are the beef meatballs. I'm going to have Austin here start adding those in. I'm going to drop in some ginger and red pepper. We're going to add some red onion. As I get burnt by Austin.
As you can tell, I'm not good with chopsticks.
We're going to add a cinnamon stick. Some green onions. And then the flavor powder. So basically we're just going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to cover and simmer it for about 20 minutes. Alright, so now that the broth is cooking, we're actually going to cook the noodles as well. So you basically just drop these into boiling hot water. And I usually add some oil just so it doesn't stick. And then you just stir it around with some chopsticks for a little bit. Just to separate the noodles a little bit. Alright, now that we have the noodles cooking and the broth cooking, we're searing some steak. We're cooking it so it's just seared on either side and it's still rare in the middle. Later on we're actually going to make a bowl of which will be the noodles, and then we'll put the meat on top. And then the broth that's still boiling will actually cook the meat, and I'll give you the freshest taste. We're just adding a little fish sauce for a little more flavor. It kind of gives it a little more saltiness. Alright, now that the noodles are done, we're just going to pull the noodles out, throw them in a colander right here, and run it under cold water. And then we'll just set it aside until we're ready to make the rest of the bowl soup. Alright, so we're going to walk through making a bowl of pho. First we're going to grab some noodles. And then we are going to add the greens. So here's some mint for flavor. Normally just rip it up. Some basil. A little cilantro. Some bean sprouts. So it's just a little bed of greens and some bean sprouts going on here. And then we're going to add the meat. You can see some of it is still kind of rare, but it'll get cooked by the broth. And now we're going to add the broth. So, you got a meatball. And the last thing is hoisin sauce, which is, I guess, seafood sauce translated in English. It's not really like fishy tasting, it's actually kind of almost like teriyaki sauce, but it adds kind of that sweet flavor to the saltiness of the broth. And there you go, bowl of pho.
Am I?
You can eat everything.
Okay. I just took a big mouthful of straight greens.